Okay guys, welcome to another Zenstream. So today what we're looking at is pricing inside of Zenler. So this is a Zenstream. We try to bring these every week. We've missed the last, I think, 2 weeks. So we're getting back in the swing of it and we're starting to do more of these. So we're going to try and do them every weekend. So times will vary. We're at 9 a.m. today, but next week I think we'll be doing the afternoon, so maybe 3 in the afternoon, which works for both East and West because we are global. But we're going to look at pricing, so it's going to be quite a quick one. I've done some ones on funnels and all sorts of things that have been more elaborate, but this one's going to be a much quicker one on just the pricing inside of Zenler's system itself. All right. So we try and pick key points and we put it in there. And generally, if people are in the chat and asking questions, then we'll say at the end, what do you want to see next week, you know, to do with the Zenler platform? And then we'll show it or we'll do it if there's enough people asking questions. Now, 9 a.m. is normally quiet, so a lot of you might be watching this on the replay. If you are, put hashtag replay and just give us your feedback. And if you want to see something in next week's Zenstream or those things, you can always find Zenstreams on our Facebook group or on our YouTube channel under lives on YouTube and under events inside of Facebook. All right. So if you're around, give us a hi, tell us where you're from, and all's good. So let's jump straight in. I will be monitoring the chat. So if anybody puts any comments in there as we're working through these, you can have direct feedback. And that's the beauty of this Zenstream sessions. Also, we're running something else called Zen Fast Track. So we kind of told people about it. We said it was coming out, it was in the events. A lot of people in the Facebook group or even on the YouTube channel don't check the live tabs or the event tabs in Facebook. So you need to go in there because we're running things all the time. So you'll see events and you might think, oh, do you know what? It'd be great. I can go in there and take that. Like we've got lots of Zen Zone sessions. I know Kevin puts boot camps in there and things like that, or it goes in there as a featured. So you know that the stuff's going on and it's all going on for you. This is our thing, is to supply you with information. So we're going to jump straight into, see, Andrew's here. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you early in the morning. So yeah, we're going to look at pricing and I'm going to jump in. There's a screen share and we just got like a dummy site and there's a few key things I just want to mention as we begin to do this stuff. So I'm going to jump across to my screen share now and you'll see inside here that we have no course pricing. So this is a course, all right? So here's a course that I've got and this is the course. And we've got no pricing inside this course inside here. This is the area that we'll be looking at today. Now, please bear in mind, if you've got none of your integrations set up, so if you've got none of your integrations set up inside of your payment, inside site integrations on the left-hand side, you need to set up PayPal or Stripe. You know, if you're using the free version, you can set Stripe up. You don't get PayPal, but you need to set up one of the payment options in order to set up a payment plan. If you are on the free plan and you haven't set those up, you can still set it up as a free course, but you can't take any payments because obviously it's not connected to your payment gateway. So that's the first major thing that you should pay attention to. So Andrew's coming. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you. So Andrew's coming home from a concert. Another concert? Yeah, so it's early mornings. Yeah, definitely many early mornings this week. Yeah, so I've been doing early mornings. I've been doing 9 a.m. So I've done the Zen Fast Track yesterday at 9 a.m. And but we're going to run afternoon ones next week, so it'll be better for you know, a better timing. It'll be busier basically in the afternoon, which we're thinking about 3 p.m. something like that. That would be quite a good time. It'd be 9 a.m. for our American friends. And over the other side of the world, it will be later at night, and Europe, it will be around about 3 p.m, 3 or 4 p.m. So it will be good. So we'll have more activity on that. So this is all about pricing plan. Andrew, I know you know about pricing plan, but it's really good that you have popped up today and said hello, and we always love to see you. So yeah, we had a David Zenler. It was 6 a.m. for Andrew there. Okay, yeah, he gets around. Right, so we're going to look at the pricing plan. So if you go into one of your courses and or you're setting it up and you're in the course, we're going to jump in here. You get the overview, course tab, curriculum, pages, where you set your pages up. The page flow for your courses is the sales page. Sales page generally is where your pricing block will end up, okay, and that's a dynamic pricing block. So as you add more pricing plans in there, you can that automatically gets updated. You can see there's nothing in there at the moment because we've got no pricing plans, but you'll see that start to propagate. So basically from the sales page, when they click one of the pricing options, it's going to take them through to the checkout page, where they then have another option to pick which one of the pricing plans they want. If they stick with the one they're on, that will currently be selected and they can just pay for it. And then they go to a thank you page. They will get an automated email if you set them up, and then they get access to the course access page. So Andrew's saying, always appreciate you sharing your knowledge. Me little knowledge. Thank you, Andrew. And you as well for sharing yours. So let's go and set up the first pricing plan. Let's start with the simplest one. If you are on the free plan and you've set up no integrations, you could set up a free plan. So let's just do it. And I'm going to show you that you can set up more than one pricing plan. So you can have multiple pricing plans in here, which could be useful for people. Because, like, say for instance, you've got a course and you're selling it for £2,000 or something, or dollars if you're in America, then you might want to break that up into a pricing plan, and you can do that. So you might want to give different options. So people that can pay straight away, they got one thing, pay £2,000, and then if they're paying over 4 installments, it could be 250, or you usually add a little bit more, so 255 or something. Then they can pay for it over a certain amount of occurrences, like 4 or whatever you want to set up, but we're going to get to that. So you can set up multiple plans in there. That's one way that you could use it. So we're on the free one at the moment, so I'm going to put in here, let's just call it free, and you'll see I'll just put free. I'm going to call it name, so you know where it ties up with inside here when it generates. All right, I wouldn't generally put free name in there. So the description, this is a free plan, okay? So we'll put that in there. And that'll give, let's just put a little bit more in there. Free plan for you to try my amazing courses and learn quickly. Okay, let's just put something like that. So the buy now button is a little button that they click. So you can change this. So this is the buy button. So I'm going to put in here buy button. Right, and I'm only putting this so you can see it appear in there. I wouldn't put this in there. I'm just putting it so you can go, oh, that's the buy button text. That's from there. So you can associate. Right, the next things, we're not going to get to these at the moment. I just want to do this as a standard thing. I want to say down the bottom that the community, if you've got a community set up, you can tie that pricing plan to add community. So you can have multiple communities under different pricing plans. So if you had a VIP package, you could select a community for a VIP package, and only people that are bought on that plan will get access to that community on the VIP package, for instance. And then for the standard package, you might not have the community tied to it. Okay, this is just telling you this thing. And inside here, we got make this the most popular plan, so you can get it to stand out, basically. All right. So this is all I need. Because it's free, all I need to put in is those 3 elements. So we're going to cover add bullets, set enrollment limit, set availability, and set tiers. Okay, we're going to cover those things as we work our way through it. But this is in its basic element. You need the name, the description. If you want a description, you don't have to, and you want a buy now button. Okay, and this is for the free plan type. So I'm going to click finish. And we're going to see that populate. So there it is. It's become there. Now notice I can add a new price plan. So I can add multiple price plans. Well, let's see how that shows on the front end. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to refresh this page. And we're now going to get a block come up. There we go. So notice free name, buy button, free. This is a free plan for you to try this amazing course and learn. So it all ties up, and we can edit this by going into here. You can see it all ties up. Free name, yeah, free name. I'll only cover this once. This is just a really make it clear. Buy button here. Description here is in here. And that's it. And it says free. That's generated automatically. Okay. Right, Andrew's got a tech question there. I'm going to cover the presentation, Andrew, and then I'll pop on the chat. So he's got a discounting change. In other words, can you provide a special price plan without it showing on the main courses page? Special prices plan. Well, okay, that's more advanced, Andrew, but you could do without it showing. Yeah, okay, Andrew. Yeah, it could. Yeah, you could do that, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm going to cover all these. If it's outside of the subject that I'm not talking about now, I'll cover it at the end, Andrew. So jump to the end of this if you're watching on the replay, and you'll have that answered. So if you've got any more questions, put them in there, and then I can just cover it all at the end. And I'll put it in there. I'll put the time stamp in there as well when it appears. I started at 9. So nice one. Got questions. This is what it's all about. We want questions coming in. But we also want to make sure you understand all this stuff. So you understand free name, buy button, free, this is the plan, and that is common throughout. So I don't need to repeat myself. That is common throughout, as well as a lot of the other things that I'm about to talk to you. The community thing that I talked about, that is common throughout as well. So if you've got a community, you can put them in there. Look, you can pick that one for this particular plan. For another plan, I don't have to select it, or I could pick the same one. It's up to me. So let's go now and add bullet points. So I'm going to put it in here. So we'll put some bullet points. What do you get with this plan? So bullet point title. Normally you would put something like features, and you don't have to do this all uppercase. I'm just doing it for this. And we go, let's just go, it's free. Okay. Let's add another bullet point. Easy to learn. Fun and fun out. Now I've got a brain freeze. Fun and quick. Easy to learn is quick, isn't it really? But doesn't matter. Right, okay, so I'm going to do one at a time. So we've added the bullet points. We're going to hit update. We're going to come back to our screen, and I'm going to just refresh this. Now you're going to see some bullet points will appear. Here we go. So now we have these bullet points that appear underneath. So it's free, it's easy to learn, blah, 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 which is good. So they are features within there. So I generally turn bullet points off. I don't like them. And I'll tell you what I do at the end. I'm going to tell you some features that actually ties up exactly with what Andrew was saying. So I don't like bullet points because I just don't like, I mean, I kind of like them in here, but I just don't like the layout. I don't like the lines. If I'm using these, I would use coding to change it all. I don't like them. That's my personal thought, but it's nice Zenler's put them in there for you. So I'm going to turn that off, and we're going to say, let's say an enrollment limit. Okay, so on each pricing plan, remember this is one pricing plan, right? This doesn't globally affect multiple pricing plans. This is the one you're working on at this current time. So if you set an enrollment limit, you can set the amount of students that can buy on this plan. So for instance, if I put 10 in there, okay, and then I hit update, only, and you're not going to see anything front end, let me just refresh. As soon as 10 people have bought this course on this pricing plan, then they won't be able to use that pricing plan again. It will basically turn itself off. Okay. So once your 10 students are in, it will shut down. No more can get in on that pricing plan. If you've got multiple pricing plans, of course they can get in on the other pricing plans. But that's what set number of enrollments or set the enrollment limit is all about. Okay. So that's easy, and that's the same for all of them. Okay, so I'll turn that one off again. Set availability. Okay, so this is good. So set availability, so you can set a start enrollment date and a close enrollment date. This confuses a lot of people because they're like, why can't I? They'll set this up and then they'll test it, which is good. You need to test all this stuff. but they'll actually go in and they'll test it, and they won't better buy it. It won't work, and it's basically because their start enrollment date they haven't put in there, or they've put it later. So they've looked at like, right, I want to start this enrollment in 10 days time. So they've put it in 10 days time, and then they have gone in and then they've maybe closed it after 20 days time. Okay. So, and then they've gone in straight away and then they've tried to buy it and it doesn't work. And it's basically because they've set it up to the enrollment start date in 10 days time. So of course they can't buy it. So logically that makes sense. But it is something that can really easily throw people, and it's happened a lot of times in the past. So if I was to go in here and put, let's put August the 5th at 12 a.m, okay, select the time zone, I'm going to do London, okay, and I'm not going to keep that, I'm not going to close the enrollment date, okay. So you'll notice down the bottom it says here course validity. So you can put a validity from, so you say course will be available from the date of enrollment, that's this, yeah, from the date of enrollment till the days given. So if I put 10, it would close after 10 days from this date, the 5th of August. Okay, so I could put that in there, or I could just leave it empty. So for unlimited access, put 0 in there or leave it empty. So if I click update now, watch what happens. Remember, this is set for the 5th and we're on the 29th of July. So let's click that and it will say, you need to set a close date for the enrollment. Okay. So if you want to get away and kind of leave it open, you could just do it like that, you know, go to the 24th of October 2024 and then click update. But I'm not going to be able to get into this course yet because it's got a start date, and we give it to you here. You know, it also says validity unlimited. Okay, you've got not an amount going in there. So now if we refresh this, we'll click and try the button, see what happens. So inside here, it's disappeared. And why has it disappeared? Because, and I think this is new, I think they've done it so it disappears and only comes up because it's not the 5th. As soon as we hit the 5th, it will work. So let me just go in and edit this and set this to, and this is what I do. I don't do it to today's date. I do it to the day before. So we know it's July 29th. So I'm going to set it for the 28th. Okay. That's yesterday. And then I'm going to click update. Right. And now it will appear and I can buy it because it's now that date. All right. So that's a really good one. That allows you to control when it's going to go, you know, when it's going to start and when it's going to end. So is it possible to set the start payment date so students get charged only at a certain date in the future and not when they register? No, we can't do that. Set a payment so it takes the money at that particular date. Well, you could maybe do trial days. Well, you don't even want them to get in the course. Right, Venkatesh, I've covered a little bit there, but I'll get back to that later. I'm going to carry on through all the pricing plans, and then we'll cover all these other things that are coming in. Lots of people are asking for features that are not there, and I just need to cover what is there, and then we can look at what can be done with that, not by default. You see what I mean? So that is covered how that starts. So it starts on the 28th and it stops on the 2024. Cheers, Venkatesh. So yeah, so it stops on the 24th, and we got that validity. So that is what that does. All right. So you see that if you've got it at a later date, that plan won't show up. Okay. And then when it hits that date at 12 a.m. on the 5th, if we set it in the future, as soon as it hits that time in this time zone, by the way, okay, it will then pop up as if by magic. Okay. And then people can buy it, and then it will close at whatever date you've put in there. Now, you don't have to put a date in there. Like I said, you could get rid of this and you could put an amount of days. So you could say 10 days after. and click update. So it only valid till 10 days after if you wanted to, or we can turn it off completely if you just want it open. So the next one we've got here is tiers. So you can set tiers for your course. So you can set a payment plan, or you can set any of the payment plans to work by tiers. So if, for instance, we have, let's go and look at the curriculum inside here. Hopefully I've got two, yeah, I've got 2, 3 set up. So I could set a payment plan up, or I could set a payment type up that only allows people access to a certain sections. So let's give it a case study here. If it was a kind of, there's different ways of running membership site, but this could be one of them. So say this top one is called bronze, the second one is called silver, and then prestige is called gold. So you could set a pricing plan up, calling it bronze level tier, and you could then just give them access to what's in this section here. Okay, and then you could set another one up called silver, and you could just give them access to what's in the bronze and the silver section, so 2 sections of the site. And then obviously gold, you could give them access to all of it. That's how tiers work. So you could have multiple plans, multiple pricing plans on the page, one in bronze, one silver, one gold, and they could give different levels of access to the one course. Okay, so that's how that works. So let me just go and quickly show you in here. We're doing it all in a free, but this is common to all of them, guys, so I don't need to repeat. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to click this, set tiers, and we're going to select what they have access to. So if I select this top one, you're going to notice it's got all of the sections and the lessons of each of my course. So if I want the bronze section to give them access to just this, I will select this. If I wanted also, let's take this a stage further, maybe I just want to give them access to a couple of the lessons in the course, like that. And maybe I want to give them access to this part of the course or this part of the course. I can do it. So I'm very flexible. I don't need to just select a section and have them access to that. I prefer to, personally, and the reason being is it's just easier to control. You know, if you've got that in there, you know all of the bronze people have got access to that section, so it's easier. Yeah, now if you do add, this is a little note for you, a little tip, a little top tip for you. If you add another lesson into the curriculum that you want for people that have already bought it, then you need to make sure that you come back in the pricing plan and check it inside here. Okay, so just make sure that the pricing plans still match up if you're adding more stuff in on each of the plans. Yeah, it's up to you to just check that. But I've now selected for this tier, this free tier, I've just selected this section. So think about it. How could we use this? How could we use this free and make it pricing plan as well? So another good way to do it is to, at the beginning of the course, have a free section. Okay, so this means that you don't have to set up a totally free course. So the first section could be free. So you're saying, welcome to this course. This course covers, this part of the course covers these basics, 3 basics. Then you show videos or you give content away over 3 lessons, and they get that for free. And then you end with a video saying, and you get the rest. If you go to the paid plan, you get all of this, and then you tell them about all the things they're going to get with the paid plan, and you say upgrade now, and you just send them to the pricing sales page or to the pricing page on the checkout page, and then they can upgrade. So it's a way that you can use the same course to offer a free version, so they've got a taster and then they can buy in later. And maybe that's exactly what you might want to do. Venkatesh, I think that's right. Venkatesh, lovely, Venkatesh. So I think that's kind of what you could do. You could get people to sign up for it, and then you could say, once they're in there on a free part, saying it's coming out this day, and then I take payment. Then you could send an email off to them, or you can put it in there and now open for enrollment and get them to go in and pay for that at that stage. So that's one way that you could do it. You could also do it with free trial, but the trial will end You're saying open, so that would work for you, Venkatesh. That's one workaround that would definitely work. So that's how the plan works. So if I click update, again, if I go back to this, so remember this is now on a tier. You can see tiers, and we give this information in the top so you can see what's going on. This is valid for 10 days from this start date, this pricing plan. Tiers are on, you know. And then if we go into here, sometimes you don't see it. So if we open that up, it's only when we buy it we'll realize that we've only got access to this top part of the course. And if they try to go in other parts of the course, it will take them to, it will say upgrade. So this would help you for that. Yeah, see, and this is the thing, Andrew. Andrew's asked the question, would you recommend doing tiers in one course or doing separate courses, then pre-selling the next one on? Personally, that's what I do. I do a totally free course because I keep it completely separate then. And then because you can clone stuff, you know, so because you can clone stuff, you can, and you've got the heart, you know, the longest part about doing any of these courses and stuff is actually doing the content itself. So actually doing the content and producing that is the long part. Actually working in Zenler, once you've got your course together, you can clone the whole thing and do it. And that's what I do. I like to keep it separate, but this is just, some people will want this. Some people will want a free part for just to entice people into it. And remember also, Andrew, that if you want to turn that off, you could. So once people have bought in on the free plan, you could then get rid of that pricing plan. They would still have access to the free content part, which would be the very beginning, which you wouldn't mind. It would almost be promotional, like a top tips or something. And then they would be like, right, okay, well, I'm going to upgrade, and they'd upgrade anyway then. But so you could turn it off later and then create a completely self-contained one. But I like to keep it, this is just me, I like to keep things separate because I style it up differently as well. And for social media, like doing this on social channels and stuff, or doing paid ads to get people to come in, I prefer just to send them to that free course that I've got that I can update. It's just on its own, it's easier for me to manage. And all my premium content, you know, that I spend a lot of time on, I don't want that mixed with my stuff. So personally, I don't use tiers, but I know a lot of people that do and would use them. Yeah, so, you know, Andrew said, yeah, you use the preview feature. Exactly, yeah, you could, yeah, exactly. You can use also the preview feature, which we haven't looked at, but you can, because we're not in the curriculum section. But yeah, you can turn previews on for the lesson, so that saves them. But obviously, the thing about a preview is they're not signing up. And sometimes you want to just get that lead, you want to get that student, people in there, you know, but they can then become students. So it becomes a little bit, you know, some people will use it for things. It's good that it's there. Other platforms have got this feature in, so we include it, but it's how you want to work with it. Like me, I prefer to just keep all my free stuff separate, you know, because then I can organize it differently. I hardly ever use any of the dynamic blocks. I always manually create my blocks, then I can put them where I like. And this comes back to you, Andrew, you know, talking about how can you do a different page. Then, you know, if you're going to do a different pricing block, you could do it on a different page and just send them to the thing. The thing is, it shows in the course, so there's certain things you can do, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, Andrew, yeah, exactly. So it depends. It's horses for courses. I know some people like tiers, and there's good reasons why they want to use tiers, and having that ability in there is really good. I really think it's really nice being able to go in there and choose individual lessons that you open up as well. But be careful, because it can get confusing. You know, if you're constantly keeping your course material fresh, you can soon lose track of what is free and what is not free if you're individually picking lessons. And I, you know, this this can get really confusing. It's like why I don't use discussions in individual lessons. It's just like, is that, where did I put those discussions? Did I put it in? Where is that come? You know, those sort of things. So I just keep my life really simple by just having a community. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. I think Andrew's getting some sleep. All right, check out the end where I'm going to answer your question. Good to see you. Take care, my friend. Yeah, so it's like things like you know, it can get really confusing when you have like lots of discussions on in lessons. I just think like it can make it really hard for yourself. You got like things popping up. Whereas if you just got a community, then everything can go in there. People can ask questions. Like in lesson 1 section on blah blah blah, then what do you do there? And then it almost opens it up to an open discussion. Now I know some people say, yeah, but if it's private, for some sites again it works. If it's very private information or it's sensitive information, then people are going to want to just talk to you, and they're not going to want to make it public to everybody. And I understand that's where it could come into use, but I'm just talking from my personal viewpoint. I try and keep everything as simple as possible. If it's simple, there's less chance of it going wrong. So that's how I look at it. And it's a really good question that Andrew brought up there about, you know, would you do it as separate or would you keep it as one? I think that's a really good valid point to put across for sure. So continuing on with the pricing, so hopefully you understand that. So they'll sign up for this plan, and then they'll just get access to what you've allowed in that tier. Okay, so down here, talked about community, we talked about availability. So these are common throughout all the pricing plans. So let's move on. Let's click update. I've reset this now, and you're going to notice sometimes it will come up apply to existing students. So if there's students in there, you can apply that plan, because I've got tiers. I've actually turned it off. It's still doing it from last time, but if I go apply to existing students, then that will apply to existing students. This is really good to know, right? So if I put a price, if I put a new lesson in that I want available to people that have bought that pricing tier, I would click apply to existing, and then all those people would get access to that extra lesson that I've dropped in. All right, so that's why we put it in there. But on the other side of it, if you've got new people coming in, you've got some sort of deal rolling with new people, you might not want that lesson to be available to the existing. So then you would click no, and it would only apply then to new people coming through. So this can be good for special promotions and things. Of course, if someone pays for the paid plan, they'll get access to it all anyway. But remember, those students that have signed up to what you've given them at the time. So if you said you get access to all of section 1, then you've got to fulfill that obligation and apply it to existing. If you say you get access to 5 lessons and then you drop a 6th one in there, then you don't have to, because you've said it, you know. So the transparency of it is really important, because you will get students come back to you and say, hold on, in that first section I can't get access to that new lesson you added, and you go, well, no, because it's a new one, but you said I get access to that whole first section, and you have to go, oh yeah, I did, so I need to give it to you, you know. So you have to be transparent, and you have to think about these things as you're going through. But it's pretty easy, and this is why I kind of stay away from tiers personally, but it's a great feature that Zenler has, and I will just click yes to that because I've got nobody in here anyway. So let's go and refresh this one more time and see here. Okay, so before I go on to the next pricing plan, I just want to click the buy button, which is going to take me to the checkout page, and this would check that I'm actually logged in as a student. So I need to just do an incognito. This is good for you guys. So I'm going to just hopefully I'll publish this course. I think I have. Let me go in there. Let me go to incognito and put that in there and click this. Okay, so there we go. This is what you can see. Put that your email address in there, enroll for free, and then it would ask you for registration details, and then they would get access to the course. All right, so let's go back. I'll be reusing this page. So let's move on to the next one. So add a new pricing plan. So let's go to a one-time purchase. Well, one-time purchase, make sure that you have your integration set up with PayPal, Stripe, Razorpay. One of those, 2 of those, 3 of those, up to you. Click next, and here we go. So now we can start to move into pricing. So one thing to bear in mind, that when you select a payment type or a currency here, you can't mix your currencies. So if I've got Great British Pound, I can't set up another pricing plan in dollars. It has to be in Great British Pounds. Okay, so you can't mix the pricing currencies around under multiple pricing plans in the page, right? You can't do that. So you'll have to allow for that. So you need to put it in there what it is. So let's put 100 in there, give it a name. We're going to call this one time only because it makes it easy for you to see. I'm not going to bother with description now. I'm going to call this buy button again, okay? Just because again it makes it easy to see. You've got the bullet points, the enrollment limits, the set availability, set tiers. You've got a tax category as well that you can set up in there. So is it physical? Is it tax exempt? Physical, or digital? I'm going to put tax exempt in there. You can tie it to the community we talked about. We haven't touched the make most popular yet, but we'll do that when we got 3 in place because it looks better with 3. I'm going to click finish, and it's as simple as that. So now we've got 2 plans in here. By the way, you can move these around like this, just drag them. Okay, now we're going to just hit refresh inside here, and now we have this one-time plan. Notice we haven't got this text because we didn't add it, but we have that one-time plan in there. So we're going quite quick now because it's common to a lot, but we're going to add some plans in that have a little bit more detail in them. So let's just click add new plan, and now we're going to go to subscription. Actually, I'm going to go to payment plan. The reason being is it's similar to one time, but it's just a payment plan. And the last one we'll look at is subscription. So let's click next, and let's go in here and let's say £100 GBP. Notice it's gone to this. We can't change it to a different currency. Watch what happens if we try to. I'll do that in a minute. Show you what happens. Right, so there's a few things we need to look at in here. First of all, I'm going to just set this up as the basic. So we're going to say it's going to have installments, let's say 4 installments of 100. So that's £25. Going to be billing them monthly. Notice you can set custom. You've got all the options you could possibly, but they have to be even options. You can't say pay 1 week and then pay 3 weeks and then pay 6 weeks. You have to be set times between them, okay? But you can set loads. So I'm going to leave it on monthly. We're going to call this payment plan, okay? And I'll call it buy button again. Okay, we've got the same options: add bullet, enrollment, availability, set tiers, tax category. Okay, tie it to a community. They're the same things. We've got the description in there. Let's put it in there. This is a payment plan. All right. And the only thing we need to look at is this set additional fee, okay, which we're going to look at in a minute. I'm just going to do this first. Let's click finish. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so now we've got 4 payments of £100 a month. So these will be what you're setting in there. So sorry, I needed to set that to 25. So let me just go to incognito and we just have a look at what's going on inside here. So I'm just going to refresh this page and we'll just work our way. So the payment one-time plan, if we click this now, we're going to go through and you're going to see that it selects one-time plan. But we have the other options. So if they change their mind, they could change this. So if I go in there, it's going to say 100, 4 payments of 100 a month. Okay, one-time plan, they can put in there. They can put this in there. They can also, on one-time plan, any of the paid plans, they can redeem a coupon as well by putting a coupon code in there. You can also, I'm not talking about coupons, but coupons, you can send them directly to here with the coupon applied by using the coupon direct link. Okay, so you can put that in there. So that gives you what that is. So if I was doing this for 4 payments of £25, what I'd do is I'd actually change this. So I'm going to jump back in quickly. Let's say we're making £4 because they're doing it over 4 months. Yeah, so I'm going to put 26, click update. Okay, that's done. jump back in. Let's refresh this. I'm going to go back to this screen and just cut there. So here we go. So 4 payments of £26, which brings it to like 104. So they've paid £4 extra for the privilege of paying of 4 payments per month. Notice this is generated. This is generated from the page, from inside the page. So it's taking this number, the currency, and it's taking the 4, and it's taking monthly. So it's saying 4 monthly payments of £26. That's automatically been added into the system itself. Okay, so if we click the buy now button for that, again that option will be ticked, but they still can change if they want to inside here. But you'll see now it says 4 payments of £26, and then you do it, and then it will take that per month, yeah, over 4 months. Yeah, so pretty easy, works nice and easy there. So I want to show you another thing now. Let's jump back into here and let's go and just update this. And I'm just going to show you the featured. So I'm going to go into the free plan here. You're going to see what's happened down the bottom. I'm going to make this the most popular plan and click update. But it just makes it stand out a bit more. So if I go to my page and I refresh, you're going to see that it says, look, most popular. Just puts a little tag at the top. So that's all it does. Just so you know. All right, so I'm going to make that unpopular. Notice it comes up on there as well. And let's go back into the plan to look at the additional features. So payment plan, we're going to go into the edit here. And we're going to turn on this. So what does this mean? This is set an additional fee, set an additional one-time fee. So this is an additional fee, setup fee, that will be charged immediately on purchase. If trial days are set, the additional fee can be used for a paid trial as well. Yeah, so you could use that as a paid trial. So if you wanted people to have access, you could give them a trial, so like 3 days. They'd have to put their credit card details in. They'd have to put their card details in, but you could give them 3 days trial, and it wouldn't charge them until the trial period is finished. So after 3 days, it would automatically charge them unless they cancelled before. Okay, so but you can also charge an additional fee. So we can say, right, okay, so if you're the additional fee, because maybe I'm running a live, or I'm sending you a paint pack or something, or I'm giving you a free Amazon Kindle book or something, or a PDF, then you could charge an additional fee at the beginning. So let's turn it on and see. So it comes up here. So we go additional one-time fee. So remember, this will be charged right at the beginning. So I'm going to put 100 in here. Okay, so we're going to charge an additional fee of 100 on the first payment. Okay, we got the installments additional fee text. This is, let's put something in here for the free workshop guide PDF format. Okay, again, I'm doing it capitals just so it stands out there. So let's just hit update and let's go and have a look at it. So it hasn't said anything in here, but let's click here, buy now, and you're going to see that it says for the workshop PDF format £100. So the first installment is charged £126. That's 26 plus the 100, and then free payments of 26. So you see how it works. I like to put that in the button text. So I like to put something in here just to make it clear. So I'm just giving you a little bit of a tip here. So inside the here, so you can go, this is a payment, this is a pay over 4 months. an additional 100 is charged for the workbook. Okay, so you can put it in there to give them the information. So now I click update. On the button itself, it will become evident. Because at the moment it doesn't say it. So they're like, oh, where's that extra 100 come from? But if we actually refresh this now, it says pay over 4 months, an additional 100 is charged for the workshop book. Doesn't come in there for some reason. So if they click buy now, they've got it inside there. So you might have to shorten that because there's only a certain amount of text that you could put into that block. Okay. So an additional 100 is charged for first or something. Probably workbook's too long. It's run over 2 lines to keep all the blocks the same size. I need to talk to developers about that actually, because they should just stop the text rather than allow you to just free type. So it's always good, something comes up, I can point that out. Good. So see how that works. So the additional fee can work like that. So let's go into the payment plan, and by showing you this payment plan option, some of these options are available in the subscription as well. Right, sorry guys, I'm just looking for something. So I've covered that, I've covered that, I've covered that. I'm actually looking for trials. Should be here. Okay, let's move on. So last one we've got to look at is subscriptions. So I'm now going to click this and we're going to go into the subscriptions. So let's click that and click next. And inside here we've got the same options, but I want to actually just want to prove something to you. I want to go in here, put 100 and then just change this to Canadian dollars. Name this subscription. And monthly charge. Right, now let's leave that off. Set trial days is there. Let me just click finish. Watch what happens. Oh, why? Because we haven't got GBP. Okay, because remember, all of our plan options so far are in pounds. Yeah. So you need to make sure that it's all in pounds in those blocks. Okay, so we have set an additional fee inside here. And this is the option. Inside of payment plans, there's not that option, but it says it in there. So I need to tell them to remove that from that part. But this is it. So if I say subscription, and we got 100 in there, so that'd be 100 monthly charge by now. That's all I need, the minimum I need for this. So I'd set this and running the lives in that, click finish. And now we've got this subscription set up. So let's have a look at that before we run into the options, because I want to show you trial days. It's quite important. Okay, there we go. So now we've got a subscription. So inside there, if we click buy now for that, you're going to see that that's 100 month for all billings. Okay. So you can also give them a coupon. Again, if you had a redeemable coupon, it sometimes comes up, do you want it for all billings or just for the first billing? And that is for the coupon to work across all the billings or just the first billing. So that is subscriptions. So let's close that. Let's go jump back into subscriptions because there's a few bits to show you. We've already looked at additional fee. Okay, so you can apply that additional fee. And you can also apply a set trial days here. So free trials can be given for subscriptions. Students' card details will be asked on purchase, but payment happens only after the number of days given here. So if we turn this on, we can say, right, okay, we're going to give you a free 3-day trial, and that's all we need to do. We click that, and now we've got a 3-day trial under that subscription. So inside here, if I go back to the buttons, let's refresh it. Doesn't come up in here, but you can put in the text, we give you a free 3-day trial to decide. You could put that in the text. Yeah, let's do it. I'll just do it because then I'm making it really, really clear. And okay, click update. This is what I love about Zen. They're so quick to do these things. So now I go in here and I refresh. Boom. There you go. Monthly charge, but take the 3-day free trial. So if I click through to this now, it's going to go here, 0 to pay, free trial free, trial fee for 3 days, 0. Okay. And then £100 a month after. So 3 days trial, £100 a month after all billings. Okay. So you can see it there. It says it there. It's all very clear and it makes it clear. But what about if we want to charge for those 3 days but a reduced price? Well, we can do that. We can use the additional fee feature. So if we go here and we go to subscription, I'll have to change this text. So monthly charge. So try first 3 days for, let's say, £5. Now I have the set trials days, 3 days, but I can go to the additional fee and I can charge £5. So now what I'm doing is I'm saying free 3-day trial before you charge them, okay? But I'm also telling it on the first fee, charge them £5. So an additional fee before they start, £5. So that's how you can charge for free trials. So if I click update, we can go in here now. I'm going to go back. I'm going to refresh this. So we got this try first 3 days for £5. By now, there we go. Look. So it'll have the 3 days we set, and then after that time, it will charge them £100 a month. So they will have literally, because we put the additional fee in, charged them £5 initially. So you've then created a £5 3-day trial before they commit to spending £100 each month. So you've got that option of free, you've got the option of charging but controlling the free, you've got the option of setting an enrollment date, start and end, you've got multiple pricing plans in there, you've got payment plan, free plan, one-time plan, subscription, paid trials, additional fee. You've got literally every kind of combination. You can use multiple payment plans in the same course. You can set tiers up to control the people going through it on different pricing plans. You know, I think it's pretty got everything you need really to do everything you need to do. So that is how all your prices can be set up inside Zenler. And it's all quick. You can see how quick we do this stuff. Now, I would say my advice to you guys is definitely to test it. So if you do any of this stuff, you need to go in there as a student, test it. Go into incognito, go in and test as a student and go through the process. So if you're using a payment gateway like PayPal or Stripe, after you've paid for that particular thing, you can go back, you can go into your payment gateway and you can refund the money back to yourself. you know. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal that you make sure it's all working, because you're making sure that you receive all the automated emails, that you've been charged the right amount. All these kind of things is massive, and we can't underestimate this enough. The amount of times we see people saying, it's not working, I'm live, I'm doing this, or it hasn't charged, and we're like, did you test? No. Nobody, if you don't test it, then you don't know what the student's going to see, and it's your responsibility to do that. At Zenler, we can tell you to test it, and we can give you the tools to do all this stuff, but if you're not testing and making sure everything's working your end before you're releasing it out to people to buy, it's your responsibility to do that. And it doesn't take long. That's the thing. It breaks my heart sometimes when people are running a live and they haven't done a test run of all those things, and they're like, they're not getting the emails, or I've set this up wrong and they've got the wrong link, and how do I get in touch with them? And you're like, did you test? No, I went in as admin, and I'm like, no, did you test as a student? Did you test as someone that hasn't been to your site before, their experience? Did you look at that? Did you see the way that it's showing to you as a new person? Did you get a friend to go in and do it? And that's the reason that you have the problems, because you're not testing as that. Hopefully a lot of you are, most of you are, because we don't have a ton of these things coming through, but every now and again there is, and it really sort of breaks my heart, because it's like, it's so easy to do and it could have been avoided, and you're like, and then you're trying to pick the pieces up or help them in some way, but it's kind of like, why didn't you do this? It's so easy to test it. So as you can see there, we've got all the options. You've got subscriptions, you can do initial fees, you can do the paid trials, you can put it on tiers. We got the payment plans, so it spreads the cost for your students. You've got free plans for free courses, the tier options as well, and you've got the one-time plan payments as well, and you can do all that. And you'll notice that if people buy through that, okay, if you're adding lessons into a course that you want those lessons to be applied to existing students, remember that whenever you put a new lesson, or you get a little pop-up come up saying apply to existing, yes or no, think about it. Don't just hit yes or no. Think about what's going to happen when you do that. Like, do you want that to be applied to existing? This will often come up with automated emails. So for instance, if you've done an automated welcome email to a list of students going in, and then you change it because maybe you're running a promotion, you're giving someone a PDF or something, and you only want that to apply to new students coming in, then when you change that automation, you'll also get a pop-up saying apply to existing, yes or no. So think about it. Do you want that email to go back out to your users, giving them that information, or not? And in most cases, you will not. If you want to give everybody a free PDF that is in a course, think about not using automations. Think about using an email broadcast and filtering them in that course, and just sending the link out to them as all your students. So be careful whenever you see that pop-up come up, apply to existing, right? That's really important. All right, so no chat inside of this. Is a bit like on my Zen Fast Track yesterday. There's not too many people coming in, because I know why. It's 9 a.m. and I don't mind so much, because especially yesterday with the Zen Fast Track, I wanted to do almost a soft release to it. I didn't want to be like bombarded with questions. But when we run it next week at 3 p.m, it's going to be manic. I know it. So let's see. So Andrew had a question about, can we provide a special price plan without it showing on the main course page? So yeah, right. So the thing is though, Andrew, because we're adding it as a price plan, right, it's always going to show inside here. So there is no way of breaking it away from that. So here's some thoughts for you. We are using the dynamic blocks to create these, yeah? But we don't need to. we could actually just create it manually and link to the checkout page. We could grab these links. Do you notice when I go over these buttons down in the bottom left hand corner, let me just show you. When I mouse over these buttons, down in the left hand corner, there's a URL that pops up down the bottom there. Do you see that? And if I go over that one, it's slightly different, and it's slightly different. So what I can do is I can use those. So if I on my course page, I set up a button, I could then redirect people with that button to this pricing plan. And that way, when they click it, it will be checked inside here. So you could set up your own custom blocks. You don't need to use the dynamic ones, but do remember that if you add new pricing plans, they won't just appear. You need to manually adjust it, but it's only a sales page, you know, so you'd have to do that anyway, or it's not a big job to do that anyway. All right. So that could be one way that you could think about it, but you'll still end up on this page here. And I think, Andrew, you're trying to get away from this page. So let's look at a completely different option. Maybe, right, and I'm not saying this will work for you, but maybe you want to do a secret course that is not a course, that is purely set up as a button, as a pricing plan, a special pricing plan. Okay, so people will pay for it, and then you'll have to either use something like Zapier to bring them from that course into the main course, or you can manually select them and bulk enroll them into the course. Does that make sense? So I know Andrew's, you know, he knows the platform, so he'll know what I'm talking about when I'm saying this. So that's how you could think. Andrew, if you don't get what I'm meaning, I can always do a little Zen pop-up or something next week, but that's what I'm thinking could work for you. Yeah, so hopefully that's answered you. And I answered the other one, and I've got a question coming. Yeah, so start date. So Venkatesh, so is it possible to set start payment date so students get charged only at a certain date in the future and not when they register? Yes, but do you, right, okay, so this is quite difficult, because what you can do is you could set the free trial, right? So let's say that you're saying a set date. By that question, you're saying a set date in the future. So we would have to set, how would it work? You would have to count how many days in the future, and when you set, oh no, I'm trying to think outside the box here. So how could you do it? You could do it so you could start the enrollment date. So, oh, right, okay. So what you could do is you could set it up as a pricing plan with a free trial that will get them in there. Or I'll tell you the simplest way. Have them register in there as on a free plan, but in a course tier that's open to one video that welcomes them and says enrollment will be open on this date, and then set another plan up on that day, wipe out the free plan and set the paid plan up, and then give them access to the rest of the course. And then you'll have to email them, or when they next come into the course, you need to put a button on there, pay for this, it's open now. So that would work. Okay, so there's a few different ways that you could do it depending on how you're looking at it. But I think that's the more, there's so many questions that go around pricing. Like, can I do this? Oh, I just got that to do, that to do, that to. Remember, it's a system that you need to set up. So when you set a start date and end date, you can't say in the future, I want to launch the course, but in the meantime, I want to take a payment of £4 and then have nothing happen. You know, you've got to be in control of this stuff. It's like, I know if I've got a course, I'm going to do it. If I'm doing a pre, and this is how I do it, Venkatesh, and you know, this might help you as well, Andrew. I think you already know about this, but what I do is I wipe out all of the pricing plans, and I wipe out the curriculum block, everything from the sales page, and I put a form in there, call it a pre-enrollment form. So then I get leads generated, and as soon as I'm ready to launch, which I can work in the background, my course, I then set up a pricing plan inside the sales page, and I turn it into a fully fledged sales page. And then I've got leads coming there for pre-enrollment, and then I tell them, look, it's open now, go in there and pay for it, and then they can go in and they can pay for it. So I've taken a pre sign up, which I think is what you're talking. Can you start payment dates so students get charged only on a certain date in the future, but you know that date in the future, so but you don't, and not when they register, but they're going to need to register to go through the payment process. So it's something. They have to register at some point in time, whether it's earlier or later. So I tend to do a pre-enrollment, because that way I'm just taking their email address and then they're just registering. They're registering because they're interested when the course is launched. And when I get that course, and I don't leave it like months and months, I make sure that I'm ready to send out to say, look, it's ready now, so it's fresh in their minds. I don't want a year to pass and then they get an email, well, yeah, I was interested in that a year ago. I'm not interested in that anymore, and they don't buy into it. So pre-sign-ups or pre-enrollments are really, really powerful, and you can just do that as a form. So literally wipe out stuff from your sales page, put that form in there, and then you capture them as leads. Then you can work on your course, put the dynamic blocks, curriculum block, price block back in there, style it up, send an email to them. There you go, it's ready, guys, and off they go. The other way of doing it is you could send them into a funnel system. So you could send them into a funnel, and then you could go and use the automations. So you then set up an automation. The course is ready now, go and buy it. And then it would say apply to existing. You would in this case, because you want it to go out to them. So yes, and then they get the email, they go into the course and they buy it. So there's 3 ways there that you could do it. And I can probably give another 10 ways that you could do the same thing. So hopefully that's helped you, Venkatesh. I don't know if you're still here, but that's it for today. That is our Zenstream, all about pricing inside Zenler. So you can see Zenler's really quite powerful when it comes to different pricing options. We are always taking note of you guys. If you're saying that it would be good to have this or it would be good to have that, we always take it really seriously, and we put it in there. Now remember that a lot of these options also on pricing are also available inside of lives, okay? Because you can have paid lives. So when you're setting up your paid lives, you go into the paid section and then you set it up in there. But everything we've covered here, there's not as many options inside lives, so you'll understand it, all right? It's pretty simple. So guys, this has been our Zenstream for Saturday the 29th. We started at 9 AM and we've been running for 1 hour, 8 minutes. So guys, have a great weekend. I'm going to be back about 3 PM next Friday. Put this in your calendar if you've got questions about the platform, because Zen Fast Track is a moment in time once a week where we're on for roughly 4 hours, but it could be more, and you can ask us your problems on the Zenler platform. All right. I don't want to hear all the problems in life. I will, you know, but we're going to be running that. So we're going to run that at about 3 PM next Friday, and you can ask your questions. It's going to be in the events inside of YouTube, guys, on YouTube, and also in the lives in YouTube, and inside the events inside Facebook. So check that out. Say you're going, support it, because if it's not supported and there's not enough people coming and asking questions and engagement, people liking what we're doing, we will end it and it will disappear, and there will be nobody live for you on the group or in the YouTube channel answering questions when you need them. So it's up to you. If you want it to stick around, Zen Fast Track, you need to support it. Otherwise, it's not worth us doing it. Okay. The good thing about Zen Fast Track is that I do put an interlude screen up, so it means I can get on with other work. I don't just sit there for 4 hours waiting for people to ask questions. I'm doing things. So I tend to look in on the chat, and if a question comes up from someone, I will then pop up like magic, answer the question, they're happy, and then I disappear again. And someone else asks a question, pop up, and repeat. So we had Victoria on Fast Track. I was on with her. She had a lot of questions, and we were talking about loads of different stuff. And she had my time for about an hour, and she was in Canada. So it was 2 a.m. in the morning for Victoria. So she was there. She loved it, and she's going to come back next week. So I'll see her, and I'm sure that we'll have some regulars in there. Tracy turned up as well. We had, so it was good. It was a good start. It was a soft kind of launch, but we're going to really hit it. And I don't know what's going to happen. It could be crazy. If I get really tired, because if it's non-stop, I'm going to just have a break. All right. Because I'm not going to kill myself. I try and answer questions quickly, but if there's a ton of questions coming, I'm going to take a break, right? So just so that you know. But Zen Fast Track, you really want to get in there and support it. You will find that in the events inside Facebook. That will be posted today or tomorrow. And it will be in YouTube as well under the lives, okay? The live section. So we tend to put it as a trailer in there. Just before the day, so you guys can see it. So if you've got a question to do with Zenler or course creation, I'm not going to talk about different platforms like integrations, like Thrivecart and those sort of things, or Zapier or Pabbly. I'm not going to talk about those. It's going to be all on platform. But if you've got general questions about course creation, like how do you do that video? How do you do this? Oh, I've seen that in that course. How did you set that up? These are questions that we're quite happy to answer. So it's a real good opportunity for you see the stuff that we're doing. If you like the stuff we're doing and you want to ask how we did it, there's no problems. We don't mind. We share information. We are totally transparent here at Zenler with our lovely community of supporters. So guys, have a good weekend. I'm going to stop now and check the surf, and I'll be back with you next week. So take care, and I'll see you all very